Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the city of Windsor. Several of our speakers today have traveled across the country and around the globe to be here this morning. The team from LG Energy Solutions traveled from South Korea. The federal ministers came here from Ottawa, the premier from Toronto. Stellantis representatives came all the way from Detroit, but on the Windsor side of the border, we call it Windsor's backyard. We're all here to celebrate some very significant and strategic partnerships. Both a partnership between two international corporate titans and partnerships across three orders of government to create the conditions to make this event possible. As mayor of the city of Windsor, I am so proud to be here in this moment, and certainly any mayor in my shoes would love to be home to a massive investment like this. But this community, as the automobility capital of Canada, has lived through the ups and downs of the auto industry over the past 10 to 15 years. Truly, that is what makes today's announcement even more meaningful to our local economy. For generations, Windsor residents have worked in the automotive industry that first began along the banks of the Detroit River more than 100 years ago. They made their livings, they raised their families, and they invested in this community. They laid the foundation of our growth and of our success. And now, we are more assured today that future generations will be able to realize their dreams here as well. Before we get into any more details, I want to welcome Teresa Sims, who has been a great friend and a teacher to so many in our community. She is from the, absolutely. Teresa is from the Upper Mohawk Turtle Clan of the Six Nations Reserve, and she has worked in Windsor since 1998 in various capacities, such as an elder and culture and language specialist for the Skaana Family Learning Center. Teresa, welcome.
Ganawala dosala som gwant disong, kajijis to hawe nian get, hunashoni onkuhori niha. These are words that come before all others. When two or more people meet, we send our greetings, our thanksgiving, and our love to the Creator. And we introduce ourselves to our spirit name. Mine is Kajijis to Hawi. She comes from the stars. I'm Upper Mohawk, Turtle Clan. One of the people Longhouse, and I try to follow a natural way of life. So I'd like to send greetings, thanksgiving, and love to all that are here today. Their hearts and minds together as one, a good heart and a good mind. An open heart and open mind, that we work together as one heart and one mind, that role and responsibility we've taken today. I'd also like to send greetings to the unsucceeded land of the Anishinaabe territory and land of the Odawa, Potawatomi, and the Anishinaabe. And I would like to send a song of welcome and friendship. It talks about the eagle. The eagle flies highest. He's closest to Creator. You see that there's friends here. So it's time to prepare.
Well, thank you very much, Teresa. I knew, for those of you who haven't heard Teresa bring that greeting before, I knew in this building, in this room, her voice would fill it. You did it magically. Thank you so much, and thank you for reminding all of us about our nation's history and the important contributions of Indigenous communities to this land. This is a big event, folks, and the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, would have been here himself because it's such a big event, but of course he was called away to participate in important NATO meetings related to the ongoing crisis in the Ukraine. He sent a message of help, or hope rather, to commemorate this important event, and we'll step aside and watch the video from the Prime Minister.
Hello everyone, bonjour à tous. It's great to be part of this historic announcement, even if I can't join you in person. Right now, as you watch this message, I'm in Europe for a NATO summit, meeting with our allies to address the situation in Ukraine. But that doesn't change how important today's announcement is for jobs and for our fight against climate change. My friends, the world is moving to clean tech, and this is Canada's time to lead the way. Today's announcement of a multi-billion-dollar facility to build electric vehicle batteries is an investment in our workers, our communities, and our future. I want to thank LG Energy Solution and Stellantis for choosing Canada and Canadian talent. And I want to thank the Ontario government for supporting this investment too. Because partnerships like these are crucial to creating new jobs and putting Canada on the cutting edge of clean tech. En travaillant ensemble, on peut changer la vie des gens aujourd'hui et laisser aux générations futures un environnement propre. Je suis impatient de voir le travail qui sera accompli à cette usine et de poursuivre les progrès qu'on réalise ensemble dans les mois et les années à venir. Encore une fois, merci d'être ici aujourd'hui.
Thank you. Thank you for that message, Prime Minister, and I'm glad that Ministers François-Philippe Champagne are here, Minister Alghabra is here as well, and you'll hear from them in just a few minutes, but there's no doubt that this announcement would not be possible without the support of the federal government, and everyone is very appreciative of that support. It is now my pleasure to introduce our Premier, Doug Ford. Now, the last time Premier Ford was in Windsor, just a few months ago, he announced the money needed to move forward on the development work associated with the new regional acute care hospital. In fact, this is my standing ovation, Premier, for you for that. In fact, that facility will be built just a short distance from this site and will have a major impact on the future of healthcare in our region. Not only do we have the local talent and the logistics to attract this kind of investment, but we are now able to market our region based on brand new healthcare infrastructure that is well underway. Premier, I welcome you back to the City of Windsor and up to the podium now.
Well, first of all, thank you, Mayor, and good morning, everyone. Once again, it's a pleasure to be back here in Windsor alongside Minister Fedeli. I always say Ontario's #1 salesperson with his good buddy, and I'm going to get to you, Minister Champagne, in a minute. They're like a dynamic duo. Joined by our federal partners, Minister Champagne, again, the country's #1 salesperson, and Minister Alghabra. Thank you for coming. Along with our Indigenous Elder Sims, thank you very much, Elder Sims. There you are. That was lovely. That was great. And David Kim from LG and the whole group from LG and Korea. Kamsahamnida Annyeonghaseyo. Look forward to coming to Korea and paying everyone a visit. Mark Stewart from Stellantis North America. Mark, great to see you. And thank you to the #1 supporter for Windsor, Mayor Drew Dilkens, for hosting us today. I'll tell you, what a great partner. I'd also like to acknowledge the Warden of Essex County, Gary McNamara, who's in attendance today. And I see my friend Flavio Volpe, always good to see all of you guys. Friends, our government has a plan to attract more investment in our auto and manufacturing sectors. A plan that is connecting resources, industries, and workers in Northern Ontario to the future of clean steel and electric vehicles. And today, we're once again seeing that plan in action. LG Energy Solution and automaker Stellantis are joining forces to invest $5 billion. Those are big numbers. They're ready to build the province's first large-scale electric vehicle battery plant right here in Windsor. And they're doing... And they're doing so with the support from the Ontario municipal and federal governments. This is the largest automotive manufacturing investment in the history of our province, and I'm sure it's probably the history of our country as well, Minister. And this is game-changing battery plant will help guarantee that Ontario is at the forefront of the electric vehicle revolution and ensure we remain a global leader in auto manufacturing, just as we have been for over 100 years. The state-of-the-art battery facility will supply Stellantis plants across North America and employ about 2,500 people. That's 2,500 steady, good-paying jobs for people and families right here in Windsor. And our government is supporting the growing community, not only with today's announcement of 2,500 new jobs and thousands of reciprocal jobs this will create, but we're also investing in the transportation infrastructure, Highway 3, and most importantly, as the Mayor mentioned, we're supporting the people of Windsor, Essex by building the brand new hospital this community desperately needs. And it means the cars of the future and the batteries that power them will be built right here by Ontario workers using Ontario resources. Last week, our government released its first ever critical mineral strategy. This new strategy will unleash the economic potential of Northern Resources as we build up homegrown supply chains and connect the minerals needed to make EV batteries to plants like the one LG and Stellantis are building here in Windsor. At the same time, we're creating the conditions to support Ontario's growing electric vehicle industry by further expanding access to electric vehicle chargers. We're adding them to en route highway rest stops, carpool parking lots, Ontario parks, and in community hubs like hockey arenas, municipal parks. I know Minister Mulroney made the announcement of over $100 million just on chargers. Each new charging station brings us closer to making made in Ontario electric vehicles the top choice for drivers. Friends, we're investing in making Ontario the best jurisdiction in North America to build the vehicles and batteries of the future. When we took office 4 short years ago, Ontario's once vibrant auto industry was on the ropes. Auto companies were shutting down and leaving our province and taking thousands of jobs with them. Today, all that has changed. We have now secured major investments from all major auto companies. We're investing in mineral production, battery production, clean steel production, and final assembly. We're investing in every part of the auto supply chain. The cars of the future will be built in Ontario from start to finish, because we made a promise to transform our auto sector by harnessing and unleashing Ontario-made innovation and leveraging our highly skilled workforce to fill the jobs of tomorrow. We were on a mission to make Ontario the #1 destination anywhere in the world for business and jobs. And historic investments like this, once we are announcing today from LG and Stellantis, show that we are continuing to deliver. I want to thank them both for their tremendous show of confidence in Ontario and our workers. They couldn't have chosen a better partner than Ontario, because our province has come so far, and we can't afford to go back to the politics of no. Instead, your government is saying yes. Yes to investing in our communities. Yes to good jobs for our workers. And yes to another 100 years of being North American leaders in auto manufacturing. I want to thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you. Minister, I think I do it to you every time. The #1 salesperson for Canada, Minister Champagne, great partner. Thank you.
Thank you, Premier. We do that together. It's always going well. Good morning, everyone. I think it's an exciting day today. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we're marking history. As the Premier said, this morning we're announcing our very first gigafactory in Canada, a $5 billion investment that will see us make in Windsor, and Mayor, I see you smiling already, hundreds of thousands of batteries to power the car of the future. This is happening today, right here, right now. Our first gigafactory. And I'm so excited. I wanted to have that on the board, and they say, Minister will say the largest investment ever in Canada's history. You were right, Premier, to say that. And this is going to create 2,500 new jobs, as you said. This is very significant for the whole region. This is good news. And I see our friend of Unifor, which are there, and Mr. Cassidy is here with us. But I want to say also it's going to cement the place of Canada in the auto sector of the future, and that for me was the most important thing. We cement our place in the North American industry, and I see Flavio smiling with that. So ladies and gentlemen, it's a great morning for Canada and for all of us. So first of all, let me say bonjour, pleasure to be here, Premier. It's always good to be with you on the stage. It seems that every time we meet, it's about job and investment, so we're already planning for our next meeting. Because it's always good news. We had good news last week, and we have good news this week. I also want to thank the Prime Minister for the message that you saw that he delivered to us. I know for a fact, and my friend, the Minister Alghabra, would tell you, he really wanted to be with us this morning. Trust me. And I had to convince him that because this was the day that this was happening, we had to make the announcement. But as you saw, he's on his way with President Biden to a NATO summit in Europe to make sure that we can discuss what more Canada can do to stop the horrific action that we've seen from Vladimir Putin, and also how we can continue to support the people of Ukraine. So I'm sure each and every one of you would understand that's why the Prime Minister could be with us virtually, but had to be at the NATO summit today. I especially want to give a shout out to Arek Kusmerchuk, who has been working tirelessly. And I can tell you, Mayor, he worked tirelessly. He was by my side, literally, because I sit next to him in Parliament, to make sure that this investment at every step of the way would come here in Windsor. So, my friend, I think you can celebrate your leadership. You have been a great advocate for the region, Mayor. You've got a good one to make sure that things would happen. And let me start by offering my greetings to the auto workers. And I always do that when we do that because it's really thanks to their excellence, the expertise, that their know-how, that we could attract the largest investment ever in our auto sector. And I want to applaud them because it's thanks really to their work, what they're doing, that we can celebrate. The men and women we see on the assembly lines are making the difference, and that's how we can convince the largest manufacturers in the world and the best manufacturers in the world to come right here in Canada. Minister Alghabra, it's Minister of Transport of Canada. It's a pleasure. You're a great ally to make sure in our journey to position Canada as a global leader in the production of electric vehicles in Canada. And I want to acknowledge your presence and say thank you, sir. We have a lot to do, but today is a great milestone. I also want to acknowledge my Minister Fedeli. We're the sales team, apparently, as the Premier said it. It's good to have a very solid partner to deliver for the people of Ontario, and I'm always saying publicly everywhere that we form a very good team. Thank you, Minister, for all the work you did in making that happen today. Mayor Dilkens, I see your smile. I used to deal with you as Minister of Infrastructure, and I'm sure that with news like that, you would like to see us to come more often in Windsor. So I can tell you that we're very happy, and for the people of Windsor and the whole region. I want to say also to the Mayor of Tecumseh, Mayor McNamara, I think you're somewhere, I've not seen you. Oh, you're there. We shook hands. It's great because this is going to be good for the region, and we're very proud. I want to say Julie DeBrusen, the Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Natural Resources, which is also a great partner. Brian Massey, the MP for Windsor West. Elder Sims, you were here. I saw you. Oh, you're there. Thanks you for your blessing and putting us in the right mood. And now let me say a truly special thanks to Mark Stewart. Mark, I told you I had at least a page in my speech about you, but I would say to have the CEO of Stellantis with us today is very significant. I must admit, Premier, I was a bit nervous because he had to cross the border this morning. So we made sure that everything was in place to make sure we'd have the CEO of Stellantis with us. But I would say you have been a great leader and a great partner who has transformed our joint vision into reality. And the one promise I can make to you this morning is that I will stop calling you on the weekend for the next few weeks. And I want to say thank you for making it happen because you were a partner with us. Mr. Kim, where do I see you? Mr. Kim, you're there. The VP of LLG, I want to thank you for selecting Canada as the place to power electric vehicle in North America, in the words of your CEO. And I can say from the very first meeting, you believe in Canada, you believe in our workers, you believe in what we could do with our talent. And I want to say thank you for choosing Canada. I know you had the opportunity to go elsewhere, but you realized that we could offer the best value, and we're proud to have you here in Canada. And the whole team of Stellantis and LG, thank you for being here this morning. I want to say thank you also to the team of Invest in Canada, and I said Pierre Gratton, which is with us this morning, also from the Mining Association of Canada, my dear friend Flavio Volpe, and Dave Cassidy from Unifor, with whom we talked yesterday. And with that, I hope I didn't forget anyone, but if I did forget someone, you should feel acknowledged and thanked because a lot of people have contributed to the great day today. So thank you, everyone. I don't need to tell you that I feel very excited. I think you see it already. You know, I feel excited to be with you today and to bring great news for the Canadian auto industry. This is really a milestone because some of you will remember, and Flavio, we talked about that, and the Premier, you said it, we wanted from mine to the recycling plant. We wanted to bring with Vic the whole value chain to make sure that we would protect the jobs for decades to come. And one thing we wanted was a gigafactory of battery. And for me, this is a key milestone today because like many countries around the world, Canada is looking at the recovery from this pandemic as an opportunity to move towards a cleaner, a greener, and a more resilient economy. And when I look at the announcement today, I think it's a great example of how you can create an economy that's going to be growing, but also that we would be in the economy of the 21st century, a greener economy. And thanks to our many competitive advantages, I can think about the proximity to market, proximity to resources, proximity to the assembly line. We are well positioned to attract these investments. You said it, Premier. We are the best place in the world to produce these EV batteries. But to do so, we must take strategic, immediate action with a long-term vision. That's why we've been working with our colleagues in Ontario to make sure we seize the moment, because some of the big decisions in the world are being made today as to where these big plants will be located. Because we know that more and more people want an electric vehicle. We also know that when it comes to powering the cars, Canada is the best country to build the batteries required. In fact, we are the best country to build the entire ecosystem for EV vehicle with green steel, green aluminum, and soon green batteries. The pitch we're saying to investors around the world is come here, because customers not only want an electric car, they want a green car. And we're going to be able to produce that right here in Canada, and that's why I'm so proud of what we have this morning. We are working hand in hand with our partners from the province of Ontario, because one thing you should know is that Canada is the only nation in the Western Hemisphere with the capacity and the materials to transform cobalt, graphite, lithium, and nickel into the next generation of batteries which will be needed to power electric cars. And that's why this morning, Premier would be pleased, when I met with LG, we were talking about the investment of this morning, but we were already looking ahead as to what more we can do together. And that's why we need to think big. That's why investors are seeing in Canada, when they think big, they think about Canada. And that's why we're here today. So as Prime Minister said before and Premier Ford, I'm pleased to announce our government has secured a significant investment with our colleague with the province of Ontario, the largest investment ever in the auto sector in our nation history. Premier, you were right. This is the single largest investment. This is going to make Windsor the home of Canada's first EV battery manufacturing plant, a plant that will be manufacturing hundreds of thousands of batteries for all the factory of Stellantis, not only in Canada, but in North America. And this is obviously great news for the workers who are going to be here. It's great news for the Windsor-Essex region and the province of Ontario. And I would put it to you, it's great news for the entire auto sector in Canada. So on that note, I want to congratulate LG Energy Solutions. I want to congratulate Stellantis and our provincial and municipal partners who have all helped to make this announcement possible. Together, we are taking an important step this morning in building a cleaner, a greener, and a more prosperous future for Canada. So to everyone here and those who are watching at home, I would say, let's seize the moment. Let's be ambitious, and let's make sure that we make of Canada a global leader in the green industrial transformation. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, I have the privilege of introducing my dear friend, the Minister of Transport of Canada, Minister Omar Alghabra. Sir, the floor is yours.
It's really unfair. It's always unfair to follow François-Philippe when he speaks. But by the way, you notice they needed, when the Prime Minister was unable to make it, they picked the two tallest guys in cabinet to replace him. But I certainly cannot keep up. I can keep up with his with François-Philippe's height, but I can't keep up with his energy. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor and a pleasure to be back here in Windsor. What a great day for Windsor, what a great day for Ontario, what a great day for Canada. Today's announcement is a massive one and is great news for the people of Windsor, Ontario, and Canada. This $5 billion investment is the largest ever in Canada's auto industry, as Minister Champagne has mentioned, one that will create thousands of well-paying jobs. This will also help strengthen and grow our economy and keep Canada competitive in the global marketplace. Today's investment is also great news for our environment. We know that the future of Canada's transportation sector is net zero. That's why our government, along with the Ontario government, is helping to put more electric vehicles on the road. And thanks to today's announcement, combined with our incentives, more Canadians will be able to buy Canadian-made electric cars. We have an ambitious goal of reaching 100% of electric vehicles sales by 2035. And today's investment will bring us closer to that goal. So this is great for climate change. This is great for job creation. This is great for our economy. And this is great for all Canadians. You know, the future is electric. Automakers like Stellantis know this. Battery makers like LG know this. Canadian workers know this. Consumers in Canada and around the world know this. And today's announcement is getting us closer to there. And in closing, I cannot be here in Windsor making such a big announcement without inviting my friend and colleague, Eric Kuzmerchik, who is a champion for the city of Windsor, to say a few words. Come up here, Eric. Come up here.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you so much, Minister Alghabra. Minister Champagne, I've never seen you so calm before, I have to say. Thank you so much, Premier Ford. Thank you, Mayor and friends. Today is a good day for Windsor, Essex. We knew this day would come, even in the shadow of the GM closure in Oshawa in 2018. Even when here at home we lost the third shift, followed by the second shift. We knew this day would come. This community has seen some valleys, but we never lost faith in each other, in ourselves. And I see some of those leaders that helped us through some of those difficult times. Former Mayor Eddie Francis, Mayor Gary McNamara, Unifor President Dave Cassidy, Lorraine Goddard, United Way, June Muir, Unemployed Help Center. This community is resilient. It works hard. And we knew this day would come because we know in our bones we build things better than anyone else in the world. And today, with this announcement, we are a community transformed, ready to lead the transition to electric as the automobility capital of Canada. This is the largest auto investment in Canada, and this is the largest investment in Windsor-Tecumseh. Thank you to the leadership at Stellantis and LG for your faith in our community. We will make you proud. Thank you, Premier Ford. Thank you, Prime Minister Trudeau. Thank you, Steve McKenzie, and your awesome team at Invest Windsor Essex. And here I want to give a special thank you to Minister Champagne. You are in relentless pursuit of this day and have been, and you bring an unwavering belief that Canada will lead the world in the electric vehicle transition. You are a major reason why we are standing here today. Thank you very much. And it is now my great pleasure, my great honor to welcome to the podium Minister of Finance of Ontario, Mr. Vic Fedeli. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Premier Ford, Minister Champagne, Minister Alghabra, Mayor Dilkens, our guests from Stellantis and from LG. It is wonderful to be here, for everybody to be here for this very historic announcement. So, Mark, I do have to say, what a great honor it has been and a great pleasure it has been to work with you and the whole team at Stellantis and for you to host us here in Windsor today. And to Mr. Kim, a great pleasure. It has been wonderful working with your team for all of these months. It has been a real pleasure and a very, very successful business relationship that we've held. You know, Minister Alghabra, you're right. It is a son of a gun to follow Minister Champagne, but I have to say that since taking office, our government has been steadfast and very clear in our commitment to protecting the future of Ontario's auto sector and the thousands of workers and the families that the auto sector supports right across the province. And today, as you've heard, we're here to announce, let me see, I'll be the fifth to say it, the largest ever auto manufacturing investment in the history of Canada. Today's historic investment is a milestone in our commitment to the future of Ontario's automotive sector, which the Premier announced late last year in what we call our Driving Prosperity Plan. Over the past 2 years, we've seen an incredible streak of multi-billion-dollar new auto investments, the likes of which our province has not seen in decades. Congratulations, Premier. And now, with the support of the federal government, the municipalities, we can proudly add Stellantis and LG Energy Solutions more than $5 billion investment to that growing list of future-forward investments in our auto sector and in their workers. This is a game-changing investment that will build the country's first large-scale EV battery plant. We have waited for this day for a long time, and we have been working towards this. Today marks a major turning point for Ontario, and our government is proud to play a leading role in this development. From day one, we have been working toward unleashing Ontario's economic potential in attracting these game-changing investments by making the province an attractive place to do business once again. Premier Ford talked about this from our very first day, that through a strong open for business mandate, we've taken decisive steps to lower taxes, reduce electricity costs, and cut red tape. And that has reduced the cost of doing business in Ontario by over $7 billion a year. Last year, this year, next year, the year after. That's the key. That's been the key in Ontario in these attractions. And today's incredible investment is the largest greenfield investment in Ontario's auto sector in decades. This joint venture signals to the global community that Ontario is a place for investment and growth. It demonstrates that we're committed to securing Ontario as the engine of Canada's economy. To everyone at Stellantis and to everyone at LG Energy Solution, we're proud that you chose Windsor to make this historic investment. And to Mayor Drew, your relentless work, your Windsor Works strategy really shows that Windsor works. Congratulations, Mayor Drew. Your team, Mayor, was absolutely spectacular to work with to land this huge opportunity for the people of Windsor. The investment by all the partners illustrates the dedication to the economy of the future and to the hardworking people across Ontario's automotive sector in every region of our province. And it gives me great pleasure now to introduce Mark Stewart from Stellantis.
All right, I was going to say good morning, but we're to good afternoon, guys. So I will be cognizant of that because you get me in front of, as we call it down south, a pulpit. Uh-oh, everybody. But I will try to exude your energy, Minister Champagne. But Minister Fedeli, thank you so much. Vic, it's been a great honor to work with you guys. Minister Champagne, Premier Ford, it's just been absolutely outstanding. And for us to be able to come together with Mr. Kim and LG. So again, we really want to thank everybody for joining us on a little bit of a short notice gathering on a pretty nasty day outside, right? But we really want to give a special thank you as well to Prime Minister Trudeau for his words of support, encouragement, and really showing leadership from the front to the transition to the new EV world. And really as well, again, Premier Ford and Minister Alghabra, thank you so much for all the support. Today marks, for the 6th time, Vic, right? I was saying a significant step not only for us here in Windsor, but for Stellantis as a company, right? We like to say we're a fairly young child. We come from two very old children, right, of 100-year history each. But we've just celebrated our first year together as Stellantis. And what a major milestone this marks on our journey to transform ourselves into a truly sustainable mobility company of the future. It's something we can all be proud of here in Windsor, in Canada, the US, and across the world. So it's really been an exciting journey, and one we've been unveiling since last July. It seems like a lot longer than that. And again, I think I do text with Minister Champagne probably more than my own children lately. But I'm gonna correct that, guys. But it was last July when we announced our electrification strategy to the world. We committed as a company to investing $35 billion US through 2025 on our electrification strategy and execution plans, along with software development, and a lot of that being done right here in Windsor as well through our ARDC, bringing battery electric vehicles, or our full-on BEVs, to the roads in Canada, in the US, in late 23, and really picking up steam in 24. We revealed our software vision of how we're going to employ next-gen tech to transform how our customers interact with their vehicles and make it seamless in their lives. Just earlier this month, we laid out our long-term plan, the Dare Forward 2030, and we shared our overall ambition. We plan to be carbon net neutral, net zero in 2038. A key part of our future is right here in Windsor with this first announcement of our first battery JV with LG Energy Systems. We have also committed to 50% plus electric vehicles by 2030 here in Canada and in the US. It's a major initiative, and it is starting right here today. So, as a company that's gotten pretty big as we merge together, right, with a historical underdog that's been scrappy and really winning from the FCA tradition to the longstanding tradition of PSA, coming together, merging our cultures and doing things together in such a positive way. We're in more than 130 markets around the globe, and we're humbly but incredibly proud of our global reach. At the end of the day, as every speaker has said, though, what is it about? It is about our communities, our neighborhoods, our next generations of the Stellantis family members and the folks here in Windsor community, and our new family of the combination of Stellantis and LG together here in Windsor. For decades and decades, for the next generation to be a part of our family, as it's been at our Windsor plant for 30 plus years. So important. We're coming up on nearly 100 years of our history here in Canada together in the automotive sector, and we're looking forward to the next 100 together. This commitment that we have for our communities, or I guess I'm the backyard guy, Drew, is that what it was? Is that what it is? So, as the backyard family member, but our customers are driving us to innovate here in Canada, in the US, and around the world. It's important that we address climate change together. It's important that our customers who are so passionate about the vehicles we build come on this journey with us, right? Not in a grumpy way, in an exciting way, and the same passion we have for our house of brands, we need our customers to come along with us with that same passion. And today's announcement with LG Energy Solution is a perfect example. And again, thanks everybody for all of the hard work, the lack of sleep for many of the folks on the second and the third and the fourth rows for making this happen. It is really outstanding, and we are really proud to be here today. With this $5 billion investment, creating 2,500 new jobs right here in the core, that is one of our staples from the Stellantis side of the JV, and it is about community. It is about neighborhoods. And I want to also give a shout out to the families who helped with the land in the area so quickly so that we could pull this together. Mayor Drew, thank you for helping enable that hugely. Thank you to the families for doing that as well. I would be remiss to not have one thing new that is not for everybody. So we do want to have one little spoiler alert of things that are happening in the future. So this is our first announcement of our first battery JV plant here in Canada. And coming up in the coming weeks, we'll have a second announcement of our second plant, which will be in the US. So and that really does, it shows our commitment that we are absolutely committed to 50% plus EVs, full-on BEVs, by the end of the decade. And before I turn the podium over to Mr. Kim, again, I want to thank you, all levels of the government, our JV partners, as well as just the long-term vision you all have had to put Canada at the forefront of EV, Canada at the forefront of net carbon zero, and making sure that you helped us along in this process and helping right here in the Windsor area. So thank you all so much for that. And it really goes without saying, without global competition for these investments, right, the jobs, the economic goodness that's going to come to the area and put it back on the map even stronger than before. I know people have worked relentlessly, tirelessly to make this happen. So congratulations, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for the amazing, amazing work and the results to be here today. And I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Kim, and he gets the joy of wrapping it up for us, guys. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great honor and a pleasure to be here on this very important day for us all. In the beautiful waterfront city of Windsor, where we will build our first joint venture battery plant with Stellantis. We are joined here by many honored guests who made this day possible. First of all, special thank you to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau for his warm remarks. Let me extend my sincerest gratitude to your Honorable Minister François-Philippe Champagne, Minister of Transport Omar Alghabra, Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, Ontario Minister of Economic Development, Vic Fedeli, Mayor of Windsor, Drew Dilkens, Stellantis CEO, Mark Stewart, and all of you who have worked hard every step of the way. It's all the more meaningful that our first ever JV will also be the very first battery manufacturing facility here in Canada. Together with Stellantis and the Canadian government, we aim to collaborate and champion the country's very own battery ecosystem. Our special partnership with Stellantis dates back to 2014. It's no exaggeration to say that our close partnership built on shared values is what led to our achievement today. I'm confident that our joint venture will be another milestone in our long-lasting partnership and set a solid foundation for Canada's battery industry right here at the heart of Canada's automotive capital. This beautiful city is of great strategic importance for both Stellantis and LG Energy Solution. Stellantis has its headquarters in downtown Windsor, along with some 90 auto and auto parts manufacturing also being situated here. As home to a strong automotive cluster, Windsor is the ideal foundation for Canada's EV industry. Throughout our joint venture, we are determined to expand our market presence in North America and further strengthen our strategic partnership on a global level. This new plant will not only support batteries for electric vehicles, but also build green energy value chains by tapping into Canada's rich supply of natural resources. LG Energy Solution is a world-class battery manufacturer with a quarter of the global market share. This facility in Windsor is a new addition to our comprehensive international production network that ensures our batteries are delivered on time, whenever and wherever they are needed, prepared to power millions of EVs around the world. Thanks to our partners from Stellantis, community leaders, and members of municipal council, officials, and the federal governments, we can create 2,500 new quality jobs that hardworking Canadians deserve. This is just the beginning of our journey towards a future of green, sustainable growth here in the Great White North. LG Energy Solution, together with Stellantis, will offer our full support and cooperation for the Canadian government's drive for green energy and sustainable future. Thank you. And now I turn the microphone back to Mayor Dilkens. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Kim, for those remarks, and Mark. And as they shake hands, let me just say, if you're here from LG, if you're part of the LG team, can you please raise your hand? These folks. Behind Mark, there's a great team as well. I know Lori Shalhoub is here and so many others from Stellantis. Can you please raise your hand and be acknowledged? It has been an incredible journey so far, and Vic Fedeli is by far Ontario's best Minister of Economic Development, although he hopes to be promoted to Minister of Finance Premier at the next available opportunity. And François-Philippe, a dynamo. How many espressos do you have each and every morning? Because you are absolutely incredible, but always a champion as Minister of Infrastructure, and certainly in his role today, and Minister Alghabra as well. So many files that we've been working on together, and we appreciate all of the work led by the Premier here. Thank you so much, Premier, for your continued trust and investment here in the City of Windsor, and looking out, making sure that you have our back up in Toronto. We're so very appreciative, and the entire community is appreciative of this investment, and we look forward to working with you as your plans move forward. Now, for my part, of course, as Mayor of the City, certainly all of the City Council, we commit to doing everything in our power to make sure that the work, which has already started to realize this investment in our community, is as smooth as possible. The collaboration that brought us here is one that represents a true whole-of-government approach. Invest Windsor Essex identified this prospect and worked with the parties to showcase the region and the benefits of the region. And I want to acknowledge and thank Stephen McKenzie, Joe Gonsalves, and the entire team for their hard work. Stephen. The three levels of government then partnered to help make this investment happen, and we are so pleased to do so. Beyond that, teams at all government levels are already at work helping the joint venture progress through the various approvals that are required to break ground, which will happen later this year. Everyone is rowing in the same direction, everyone is on the same page, and everyone is committed to realizing this vision. And I want to take this time, and this is really important for me to do this, to thank my colleagues on Windsor City Council, many of whom are here today. You understood the importance of creating Windsor Works, our economic development roadmap. You understood the importance of funding that plan, and you understood that it was imperative for us to help make sure our city leads in creating our future as the automobility capital of Canada. And everyone who's on Windsor City Council, you put your hand up, you were there, you made this happen. Many are over here. Please raise your hand to be acknowledged. I see Councillor Francis and Councillor Costante and Bordelin and Geniac and Mackenzie, and I know Morrison was here. Who else did I miss? Gill, Councillor Gill is here. All of you. You put your hands up and you made our part happen, and I'm so appreciative of that. And today's announcement accomplishes one of the 40 or so recommendations enunciated in Windsor Works. So today I can say 1 down, 39 to go. In the past few days, news of the potential for this announcement started to spread. And over the past few days, many have tried to find the words to describe this investment. Is it a shot in the arm? Is it a game changer? But I'll tell you, Windsorites know that it is much, much more than that. Our local roots are in manufacturing and automotive, and we're darn good at it. We've lived through the ups and downs of the global economy, and we have lived through the ups and downs of the automotive industry. And as the men and women who work here never give up hope that better days are ahead. More importantly, they go to work, they work hard every day to realize their own success and the success of this community. So I would describe this investment and the shift we see happening as being as big as the transformation from the horseless carriage to the internal combustion engine. It is that big. This is transformational, it is massive, and perhaps even larger if we consider the environmental factors. This is one of the largest investments in Windsor's history in a century. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great day for Canada, it is a great day for Ontario, and it is certainly a great day for the City of Windsor. And once again, I want to thank Stellantis. Mark, thank you for your leadership and the entire team. LG, Mr. Kim, the entire team who is here, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your faith in our city. And I want to thank our federal and provincial government partners as well for your collaboration in making this happen. It couldn't have happened without the whole of government approach, and it's so important that you're all here today and that we're able to recognize and celebrate this massive investment. And thank you all for attending. This concludes the official portion of the event, but at this time, the elected officials from all three levels of government will be able to respond to media inquiries, after which time there will be an unveiling and photo opportunity just outside, if it's not raining, on the lands which will soon host this massive facility. And I would now invite the Premier and the ministers to join me on stage for this media portion of the event. Officials from the companies will be available for questions after the formal Q&A is done, if the media would like. And the media availability will be moderated by Laurie Bouchard is going to moderate it. So please take your cues from her. Laurie?
Hi, everybody. So I would ask you to say your name and your media outlet. We'll do question plus follow-up for 20 minutes.
Hi, I'm Dale Molnar from CBC News Windsor, and I'd like to know how much money the federal government and the province are putting into this project, and is that part of the $5 billion or is it additional?
So I know between Ontario and Canada, we're putting hundreds of millions of dollars in. I can't divulge that. That would compromise some negotiations moving forward with other companies as well. But it's a massive investment, and it's hundreds of millions of dollars.
I just want to know if these batteries will be also going into an American-made cars, and if the Buy American plan in the States had a problem, if that was a problem with this, or if it's going to be just fine for us.
Do you want to take it?
Mark, you want to come on?
Couldn't escape getting back to the stage. No, absolutely. This battery plant is going to supply across North America for us as one of two that we have visioned. And so we're very pleased. Based on location, it's a perfect spot, right? Going back and forth across bridges, tunnels, etc., in order to make that happen. But absolutely, it's going to be for that.
And while I have you up there, I guess we just had this blockade recently, and there was a lot of concern that that was going to put off American investors. Obviously, this investment today, I guess, puts those concerns to rest, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, it's, we have been long-standing partners for nearly 100 years, right? And our storied RU Pacifica has been made, and the Town and Country and the Grand Voyager, all of these years, for 30 plus years, going absolutely full steam, with 90+% of those headed back in the U.S. We see absolutely nothing different in terms of these batteries as well. So, thank you.
Next.
Elvis Noem Sindiki, Radio-Canada. Monsieur Philippe, Champagne?
Allez-y, allez-y, je vous écoute.
Ouais, même si je m'imagine que vous ne vous attendiez pas à recevoir des questions en français à Windsor.
Vous savez, avec un nom comme Champagne, le français, je le parle assez bien.
Ok, c'est parfait. Alors, ma première question, c'est celle de savoir, dans le communiqué, il est dit qu'il y aura des incitatifs, notamment pour les deux compagnies, pour les aider à s'implanter dans la région. Est-ce que vous savez de quel incitatif il s'agit?
Alors, le Premier ministre Ford en a parlé. On est dans le dernier droit des négociations avec Stellantis et LG. Comme dans tous les investissements de cette envergure-là, le gouvernement fédéral, comme avec nos partenaires provinciaux, on est toujours des investisseurs stratégiques. Moi, j'ai toujours dit qu'il y a un rôle pour les gouvernements dans l'équation pour attirer des investissements comme ceux-là chez nous. Mais ce qui fait vraiment la différence, et ça revient à ce que Mark Stewart disait plus tôt, moi, je vous dirais aujourd'hui, c'est que le Canada, l'Ontario offre la stabilité, la prévisibilité, la primauté du droit. Et dans un monde où on demande cette prévisibilité-là, cette stabilité-là, le Canada se démarque. Ensuite de ça, on a la proximité des ressources, proximité des marchés, proximité des usines d'assemblage. C'est ce qui fait qu'aujourd'hui, vous avez un bel exemple que le Canada attire des investissements importants. Et c'était important pour nous aujourd'hui de démontrer qu'on est capable d'attirer des investissements de cette envergure-là de ce côté-ci aussi de la frontière.
Ok, ma deuxième question, mais je vous ferai remarquer, parce que vous parlez de stabilité, qu'on a quand même eu le blocage du pont Ambassadeur, qui a inquiété un certain nombre de personnes, notamment aux États-Unis. Mais je disais donc, ma deuxième question, c'est, on sait que le Québec aussi a des vues sur l'industrie de la batterie verte. Est-ce que l'Ontario n'est pas d'une certaine manière en train de prendre du marché au Québec?
Non, au contraire, ce qu'on est en train de créer avec le ministre Fedeli, le premier ministre Ford, le premier ministre Legault au Québec, c'est dans le fond, c'est que les deux provinces seront des chaînes d'approvisionnement du futur. C'est ça qui est intéressant. Ce qu'on est en train de faire au Québec avec BASF, avec GM et POSCO, ce que vous avez vu, c'est la partie qu'on appelle les CAM, le Cathode Active Materials. C'est ce qu'on est en train de faire du côté du Québec. Mais du côté de l'Ontario, on travaille aussi sur le côté de la demande parce qu'évidemment, les fournisseurs de ces précurseurs-là, ces matériaux-là, ont besoin de clients et ces clients-là viennent s'établir. Donc, on a travaillé avec nos collègues de la province du Québec, avec nos collègues de l'Ontario et sur l'offre et la demande. Et tant mieux, ça veut dire que le Québec et l'Ontario maintenant s'inscrivent dans les chaînes d'approvisionnement nord-américaines pour l'automobile du futur. Tout le monde y gagne.
Next reporter.
Hi, Maureen from Blackburn News. Within this agreement, are there commitments to use the resources within Ontario and Canada? Have those commitments been made? You all talked about, the supply chain that's here. So is that also part of the agreement, or is it just, financial at this point?
I didn't quite hear what you're saying.
As I say, the supply chain, if
Yeah.
we're talking about the supply chain, obviously there's support the supply chain.
Yeah, sorry, it was hard to hear you, but I think I got your question there. Regarding the supply chain, we're going to be one of the first jurisdictions anywhere in the world that will be able to go to the critical mining, which we have the lithium, we have the graphite, we have the cobalt, we have the nickel, and there's no other jurisdiction in the world that can offer that. So we have the critical minerals, and then from there, we invested in Dofasco, electric arc furnaces. A furnace that will have green steel as well. And then from there, we're going to be final assembly right here in Windsor, along with obviously the battery manufacturing. And what that does, it's not just the sector here. As Mayor Dilkens said, when we have growth of 2,500 people and you multiply that reciprocal jobs 8 times, you get a new hospital, you get to twin Highway 3, you get to build new schools as well, and that's exactly what we're doing as a province, reinvesting into infrastructure to a tune of $148 billion over the next 10 years, which is the largest investment this province has ever seen in infrastructure.
Next reporter.
And just on the supply chain, if I may add to what the Premier, what you're saying basically is that global supply chain are becoming more regional. That's the first thing you're saying, and people put more emphasis on resiliency. And that's why when you talk to Stellantis or you talk to LG, as the Premier said, obviously, we are the only jurisdiction which offer that proximity to the resources, the market, and the assembly line. So that makes Canada the ideal place. And that's why when we're talking to the big companies and the OEMs, the ones that you see today and others, they see Canada as the market of the future. And we're positioning Canada to make sure that we will be part of the integrated supply chain in North America. And if there's one big news this morning, is that more than ever, we're integrating Canada into the North American supply chain for the future. So that's your securing jobs for decades to come, because obviously the car of the future is going to be made right here with parts from Canada.
Next reporter.
Hi guys, Bob Belichico, CTV News. I heard this is a big announcement. Congratulations. First of all, I don't know who wants to take this, but just curious, why Windsor? And are you prepared to call Windsor and Essex the automobility capital of Canada yet?
Well, yeah, that's it. See, so that's what I love about Dave Cassidy. He's the head of Unifor here. What a great relationship we have. We've talked many nights, late nights, about making sure that we secure jobs for the Windsor region. We have some of the greatest men and women working right here in Windsor. The ingenuity is second to none. I'll put our men and women up against anyone in the entire world in the auto sector. But again, it goes from the supply chain all the way up to our critical mineral strategy, all the way through the whole system. And we just look forward to expanding the sector. And I just want to remind everyone, when we took office, as I said in my speech, these companies were leaving. But we've created the environment and the climate for companies to come here, thrive and prosper and grow. And when they thrive, prosper and grow, so do great people. Part of Unifor will thrive, prosper and grow. And we're building that environment by cutting $7 billion of burden off the backs of companies, not just one year, every single year. And right now, we're short 338,000 people. We need more people from all over the world to come here and call Ontario home. Thank you.
Do you have a follow-up?
Yeah, one follow-up real quick. Maybe this one's for Drew. Just the location. So here it's just behind our building here. So what made this location more attractive than perhaps other places around the county?
Well, I'll tell you, this was, again, a whole-of-government approach. And so this is a highly competitive space, not just city versus city, within the province, across the country, throughout North America. And it takes all government partners to be there, but it also takes the trust of companies like LG and Stellantis to say, is this the right location for us to do business? And so I would leave it up to Mark and to David to talk about why they chose this location. But once this location was proposed, we did everything and mobilized all of the resources that we have to be able to assemble the land quickly, to work under the timelines of the joint venture, and to be able to deliver on their timeline. This is a very aggressive timeline for a $5 billion investment. And the Premier and the team at the province are moving mountains to do what they have to do. Minister Champagne and their team federally are doing it, and so are we. And Council is completely aligned behind this. And let me just echo one of the comments that the Premier made, talking about the auto industry back in 2018. And I go back to my inaugural address in 2018, which I threw in the garbage after I was reelected, because it was that rah-rah speech about we're great. I mean, any mayor could take it and change the name of the city and deliver it, about how great we are and, we work together. And it's an important message to deliver at the right time. But I couldn't do it in good conscience because what I had seen happen in Oshawa. And since 2018, and the focus that the provincial government has put and the focus that the federal government has put on making sure that Canada can retain and grow its automotive sector is absolutely crucial. We have seen the Oshawa plant reopen. We have seen things happen here in Windsor, including this massive announcement, that are game-changing, transformational investments that will make sure that this city is well-positioned for generations to come. And I'm so appreciative to all the folks who are standing behind me for the laser focus that they put on making sure that we could be competitive and be successful as a region and as a country.
Thanks, Drew. Thanks, everybody.
We'll do one more question.
Hi, Grace Macaluso from Automotive News Canada. I have a question specifically about the plant itself. Will it include an R&D component?
Can you please repeat your question?
Will the plant include an R&D division or component?
So let me make sure we can hear a question properly, because we cannot. What you're asking, if I understood correctly with the Premier, you're asking what is the R&D component of that investment? Well, as you would have seen in every investment, first of all, this is a home run for Canada. We use a lot of terms, but I was thinking this is really our home run. This is our first gigafactory. So as you would expect, every time we do an arrangement like that with our colleagues from the province, there's always commitments around jobs. And I think you've heard the number many times, so let me repeat it again, 2,500 new jobs. But there's also commitment when it comes to research and development, because not only we're talking about the battery plant today, but as part of the negotiation with Stellantis, you would expect that we have discussion also with respect to the other plants of Stellantis in Canada. And what I think is good, and the Premier alluded to that, is that with that today, you're building the ecosystem of battery in Canada. So we're anchoring the ecosystem of the battery of the future right here. And that's going to have a rippling effect for all SMEs across the province, and I would say across the country. So there's always a component of research and development, because we know that the battery is the engine of the future for electric cars. And this is going to happen right here, right now.
Do you have a follow-up?
Yeah.
I'm going to just add to that yes, the short and simple answer is yes. There are research and development commitments with several of our educational institutions in Ontario.
Follow-up?
And what is how many plants will this plant support? How many vehicle assembly plants will it support?
Stay with us.
I'm glad I took that knee medication this morning, guys. So the plant is gonna sit on 220 acres. It's a 45 gigawatt plant. So we're not defining how many that's going to do at this time, but what we're going to tell you is a substantial amount of what we need between now and 2030 is what that plant will supply here in Canada as well as across the U.S. So that's it. But it's the facility is quite staggering, and it's based on obviously expertise from LGES, but 4.5 million square foot facility. So, as some of my friends smiled when they said it, to put it in true Canadian terms, about 112 NHL hockey rinks. That's a lot, right? A lot.
Thank you.
So this marks the end of the event. We will go outside for a quick follow-up to do the unveiling of the construction site. Media is welcome to join.
Thank you.